Hey, what's up everyone? All right, so I've been working on the truck. Just been getting it kind of cleaned up and got it down to pretty much the bare bones. Just need to scrape off some of the exterior stuff and I'll be good. But there's a snowstorm coming right now and it's supposed to rain and snow pretty much like all day tomorrow and then also on Friday. And so what I was thinking of is that I need to clean off my 4-season tent, the one that I go winter camping in, the big 12 by 14, or is it 12 by 14? Yeah, it's 12 by 14 size. And so I was thinking, I'm like, well, heck, man, I can just set up this tent in the backyard at my folks' place and then let the rain and snow do its thing. Then once it gets nice again, I can waterproof it, but it'll be like, you know, all washed down on the outside and everything like that. And then plus too, I can air it out before I go out to go winter camp. So I've got my tent right here. This is the main portion of the tent. Those are all the poles that I use right there. And it doesn't take very long to set this up. I mean, it takes me, if I'm carrying like minimal gear and I don't set up the vestibule, it only takes me about 20 minutes to set everything up. And then and that includes the stove. And then on the interior, if you really sit there and dial it in, it takes like, I don't know, maybe another 15 minutes. But you know, you gotta think it's a small space and so it doesn't take a whole lot of effort to get it all dialed in the way you want. But anyway, I think that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna go set this up and back and then I'll get back to working on the truck. This is gonna be a longer project though. I really haven't decided what I'm gonna do yet. A lot of people have suggested some pretty good stuff as far as using like a rhino lighting. I mean, I did use this Flex Seal, this type of tape that's waterproof. The problem with that is if you put it around any of the joints to where it opens and closes, after a while, it kind of sticks and then it can start to gum up a little bit. So that's what happened around here. Like, started grabbing the bottom here and all this stuff starting to flake off. So I probably should get a new door stopper there or door deal. But it's just gonna take a long time to get this all cleared off. And once I do though, I'll figure out what I wanna do for the roof section. And I may just take this thing out and just redo it as a whole, because some people were saying like fiberglass it, or maybe you know, some different types of exterior coatings that would be 100% waterproof. So I don't know, just thinking about different ideas. Good thing is I don't have to think about it for another couple days with Thanksgiving here. So I'll probably get started on this after the weekend. But for now, just gonna go set up this big tent in the back. All right, so it's super simple to set this thing up. You just basically lay it out on the ground. You stake down the 6 areas where you can stake it just to make sure that the tent stays close to the ground. Then you put in these A-frames on both sides for both the entrance and the other side of the tent. And this is what you use to pull the tent up and actually get it standing as you adjust the center pole. So I'll get the 2 A-frame poles put in there and then the center pole kind of lined up. I won't secure the entire center pole until I start to stand it up on both ends. And so these big white cords that you see here, these big ropes, that's what you use to stake things down. So you do it on both sides and get it all squared away, and then it stands up by itself. It's pretty easy. And then once it's up like this and you have both of those stakes secured in the ground, then you're able to secure the middle ridgeline pole. And then once that's up, it's real simple. You just go around the tent, and these little pop-out areas here, you just make sure that they're all tight and secured to the ground, and then you're all set. So after that, you're able to set up the interior. All right, so I want to give you all a little interior tour before I set everything up. Nice and spacious in here. It's 14 feet wide this way, and then 12 feet across from that point to that point. So what's that, 168 square feet, I believe. Here's where the stove jack is. There's a cover for this, and it's built into the bottom portion there, so you can actually zip. Maybe it's from the top part. You can zip a cover in that goes over that. So if you're not camping during cold season and you want to use this tent and you still want to have the waterproofing, then you've got that. Another thing is there's a floor cutout, and unfortunately, let's see, where was it? Yeah, right here. A couple years ago, I burned this, and the zipper doesn't track anymore on it, which is fine because I don't ever use this without the stove. But essentially, what that'll do is that'll cover up the floor and give you a full-on solid floor that doesn't have any holes in it. Well, mine has holes in it from the stove, but you know, if you've used this without the stove going and haven't dropped any coals on the floor, then you'd have a full-on waterproof floor. But in the wintertime, it's not really necessary to have, you know, a waterproof floor because everything's frozen. And with your stove, the stove actually ends up keeping that area right over there, keeping it all nice and dry just with the dry heat. So feels good to be back in this thing. I can't wait to get out in this full time because I actually love this tent. I've done some repair jobs too. My first winter out camping, I accidentally punched a hole in the side here with my snow shovel. I was clearing out all the snow from the side and just leaving a little bit there, and accidentally poked a hole in it. But everything else in here, I mean, this tent has held up amazingly well. The only thing I would recommend is if you get this, make sure you get the additional floor covering, which I'm going to put in right now, because that thing is a lifesaver. I mean, I've got holes in my floor, but the other, I mean, I've gone through like 2 different floor protectors. The first floor protector was just completely shot after the first year, after I cut my teeth winter camping, and it just was a mess. And so now I'm a little bit more careful about, you know, the mess that I have in there and all that stuff. So anyway, it sounds like my mom's back from walking the dog, so I'm gonna give her a grand tour and then get this all set up.